Hi guys, how are you? This is Lois. Welcome back to my channel. Gosh, isn't it nice to see you guys again? Anyway, welcome back. I hope you're gonna be quick here. We're going to talk about claiming asylum here in Canada. From inside Canada, guys, pay attention to that. And I know I've discussed this previously, but I want to get deeper so that you all understand what it takes and what it needs and on what grounds you need to seek asylum, because not everybody whose life is in danger can seek asylum in this country. Okay, there are parameters that need to apply. I told you time and again that everything in Canada is merit based. So even seeking asylum is merit based. So you have to make sure that your case fits within a certain criteria, guys. I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and I'm based here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I don't have offices anywhere else. I'm based in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, guys. My details can be found on my website, www.mileleimmigrationservices.ca. And I would recommend that if you need legal help, legal advice, second opinion, anything regarding Canadian immigration, please book a consultation. It's going to be worth it for you. Unfortunately, I'm not able to see people without consultations because I have to prioritize my time and yeah, guys. Okay, anyway, grounds of persecution. Why am I doing this? Every day I get someone who calls me and says, Lois, I want to come to Canada to seek asylum, or I'm here as a visitor and I want to stay longer, so I want to seek asylum. And I ask them, so on what basis are you seeking asylum? And some of them say, I don't know, I want you to tell me. And I'm like, ooh. Come slowly. I don't know why your life is in danger. You know why your life is in danger. It's not up to me. It's up to you to tell me why and how your life is in danger. And then we can look at it and see whether that danger or that persecution that you're getting fits within the convention refugee class in Canada, guys. Okay? Some of the interesting things that I come across in my line of duty. As I said, some people say I am here as a visitor and I just want to stay longer, and someone somewhere said I should seek asylum. Other people tell me I'm in my country, I don't like my country anymore, I want to come to Canada and seek asylum. Some other people say, you know what, I am tired, I can't find a job in my country, I want to come to Canada and seek asylum. Some other people say, I am looking for greener pastures, I want to come to Canada and seek asylum. Other people say the economy in my country is terrible and I want to come to Canada to seek asylum. Some others tell me, I'm in Canada as a student and I can no longer afford my school fees, I want to seek asylum. All those are not grounds for asylum, people. Do not be misled. There's a lot, there's a lot of noise out there on what, who can seek asylum and who cannot seek asylum, and there's no clarity. So I'm going to tell you the grounds and some examples just so that you can try and figure out, do you fit in this category of people who can actually seek asylum in Canada. I'm not here to judge anybody. I have said that time and again. It's not my place to judge anybody. It's nobody's place to judge anybody after all. So I'm here to help you, okay? I always say, if you fit in this criteria, it's up to the Refugee Protection Division to see whether now you should be granted asylum in this class, and it's nobody's business to judge you, okay? So do not feel ashamed, do not feel embarrassed. Give me a call, book a consultation, let us talk. It's going to be a safe place. I'll create a safe space whereby you can talk to me and you can walk me through your claim, and then I can tell you, does it fit and what kind of evidence do you need to help your case. Okay, guys. All right. So the people that I talked about there, please, those are not grounds of refugee classes. Okay, and again I said you need to know why you're seeking asylum. It's you who needs to know why you're seeking asylum. It's not other people to tell you why you're seeking asylum. Anyway, ground number one, excuse me. This saying, the definition of a convention refugee. And what I'll do, because I know I'll be using some terms here that we have already discussed in prior videos, so I'm going to attach those videos in the description part of this video, just so that you can refer. And now, because this is like a continuation, okay, this is deep. But people, this is not legal advice. If you need legal advice, get it. This is education, free education, guys. So the definition of a convention refugee in this country states that one must demonstrate a well-rounded fear of persecution. Okay? The fear may be based on the following 5 factors. Number 1, your race. Are you in a country where you've been singled out and discriminated or tortured or persecuted simply because you belong to a certain race? And when I say race, I mean things like, tribe or your ethnic group. So it doesn't necessarily, race is broad, but for things like your tribe or your ethnic group, they all fall under the race, the race factor, okay? So do you find yourself as a soft target at the hands of criminals because maybe there is police racism against your race or your tribe or your ethnic group? Those are, so an example of this would be, there are some countries, and I think sometime in Uganda, whereby, Indians, simply because they were Indians, they were being targeted and they were being killed, okay? So that is one kind of an example. The second one is nationality. Are you being persecuted based on your nationality? And you find that race and nationality kind of overlap from time to time, because they're all broad. So nationality doesn't necessarily always mean citizenship, okay? It could mean citizenship, but it doesn't always mean citizenship. And I'm saying, I'm not going to get into deep stuff here because, refugee is quite complex. So you really need legal counsel to really go, to get deep into your factor. So nationality, for example, people who have mixed ethnic backgrounds, okay, and someone who has to hide their intrinsic part of their identity, okay, those are people who can claim under the nationality. And then there's religion. Okay, are you being persecuted because of your religion or your religious beliefs? So you do have a right to manifest your religion in public or in private without hiding your religious beliefs, okay? So it says that actually, you can defect from your religion or even have different religious beliefs from the majority of your community or your family and still be able to practice that without having to hide, okay? Without having to hide. So are you able to practice your beliefs? Do the laws of your country prohibit other, or different religious beliefs? I know there's some countries whereby you have to belong to a certain religion, or you have to have a certain religious belief. Not necessarily countries, even some communities. So are you being persecuted because, even families, there's some families who would say we are strict this religion and nobody can defect because this is what we should believe in. And now if you change from that and believe in something different, then you may find yourself being persecuted by the same people who actually love you, and you may have to hide your religious beliefs, or because if you practice now what you believe or your new belief, you may even end up getting killed or excommunicated by your family, etc. Okay. Number 4, are you being persecuted because you belong to a particular social group? Okay, so this is going to be broad, and actually I'll go over about 14 instances whereby you could fall under a particular social group. But are you being accorded your human rights without discrimination despite your social group? Okay, and social group doesn't mean something that you have like membership card. No, it simply means that you belong to a specific, it could be a minority group. And as I said, we are gonna go over the various social groups. Okay. Number 5 is, are you being persecuted because of your political opinion? Okay, and this is also quite broad, but it's broadly described as having any matter in which the machinery of state, government, or policy may be engaged. So this, but you need to understand this, that this persecution does not necessarily have to come from the state itself. It could be inflicted by other people who represent the state. It could be the police, it could be politicians, it could be even the community. So anybody, as long as you're being persecuted because of your political opinion. And I will tell you something. Okay. A lot of people think that when now we say that things like political opinion, or even belonging to a certain race, or your nationality, or your religious beliefs, it doesn't necessarily have to be your perception. This is gauged on the perception of the persecutor, on the person who is persecuting you. So the persecutor may perceive that you, the claimant, you are a member of a certain race or nationality or religion or particular social group, or that you hold a certain political opinion, and the claimant may not may face a reasonable chance of persecution because of that perception of the persecutor. So perception may not always conform with the real situation of the claimant. An example, I'm going to give you an example with myself. Let's say this. I'm in a country whereby Africans are being persecuted. Okay, how do they know who Africans are? They think that everybody who is black is from Africa. So, but I could be black, but I come from the Caribbean. But because the persecutor perceives that I am African because of my color, you get? Then I may not necessarily be from Africa, but I would be persecuted because I am from Africa. It happens a lot. Other instances are like, you could be that in your community, majority of your community, maybe they support a particular political party. In some countries, political parties. So your ethnic tribe supports that party. So everybody believes, or the persecutor believes, that by the virtue of you belonging to that tribe, you outright support that party, despite the fact that maybe you support a totally different party. So it doesn't have to be your truth, but it is the perception of the persecutor that actually determines. Okay? All right. One thing you should know though, as a claimant, you cannot be asked to renounce your deeply held beliefs, or maybe refrain from exercising your fundamental rights to avoid persecution. So you should not have to relinquish your beliefs as a price for you to live safely. Okay? At the end of the day, it's up to the RPD, that is the Refugee Protection Division, to determine the ground applicable to your fear of persecution. So it's not you who will come and say, I should be granted because of my race. Because as I said, these grounds actually do overlap with each other. Okay? They do overlap, they are quite broad, and it doesn't necessarily mean, it could be race, it could be nationality, so it's up to the RPD to determine which group you fall under. Okay? Guys, did I promise you examples of potential particular social groups? These are some of the social groups. I said one of the factors that I really wanted to discuss a little bit was you belonging to a particular social group, because that is where a lot of confusion is. Okay, people don't know what is a particular social group. So let us look at this. You could belong to a particular family. There are some types of families that could be subjected to persecution simply because of that particular type of a family. The other one is your sexual orientation. Sexual orientation means that maybe there are people in a certain country, like I know in some countries like Uganda, not just Uganda, a lot of African countries, you can't just get out and say, and practice your sexuality, especially if it's different from the majority. So if you're homosexual, you cannot just go ahead and proclaim your sexuality, say I'm a lesbian or I'm a gay person, and then you marry your gay friend and you guys live in peace without being persecuted. So you find that there's a lot of persecution for belonging to a particular sexuality in some countries, not all countries, but in some countries. The other one is women who are subject to domestic abuse. And that may also fall under gender. Okay, they fall under the broader group of gender, not necessarily women, even men, because even men get abused, guys. It's not only women who get abused, but for this particular session, I'm going to talk about women who are subject to domestic abuse. And I will talk, not everybody, because I will say something. It's not everybody who actually is facing this kind of persecution who will get protection from this country. I'll talk about that before I end this session, okay? Then there are also men who become victims of abuse at the hands of former abusive partners of their spouses because of that relationship with their spouse, okay? There are times maybe, some disgruntled ex of your current spouse is vindictive and they're coming after you and they have the machinery. Even men get abused and persecuted like that, okay? There are also women who are forced into marriages against their consent. The other group is women who are subject to circumcision or female genital mutilation. Then there are children of police officers who are anti-terrorist supporters. It depends. These factors, they don't apply to one country, they apply to different countries. So, and this is not set on stone. No, these are not the only grounds, people. So don't get this wrong. These are not the only grounds. Individual, we need to look at your case and see whether it can fall under this class, okay? There are also another example is like former fellow municipal employees who are terrified and terrorized for what they know about a ruthless and a criminal mayor. Okay, there are people who've been in authority. They were corrupt and they were ruthless, and now they're after you because of the secrets that you know about them. Okay. There could be also, you could also examples, there are educated girls in countries where girls are not supposed to go to school. So, you could also be subject because of something like that. Another one is single women without male protection in some countries and circumstances. Okay. There are also some other places, some other countries, depending on the democracy of those countries, people who are suffering from mental or physical illness. And last but not least, abandoned children. So again, people, as I said, these are not the only classes of people in a social group. It's so broad. It depends on your individual situation. Okay, guys? Now. This is now where the lines become blurry, and I want to clarify this for you guys. Simply having the 5 grounds that we talked about, that is race, nationality, religion, particular social group, and political opinion, simply falling under that class doesn't mean that Canada is going to give you asylum if you come and claim. There are some other factors that come into play, okay? Important factors. So when an IRB member, when I say RB, that is when an RPD, that is a Refugee Protection Division member or judge, let me say judge because a lot of people may understand judge rather than member, you're gonna go in front of a tribunal, you and your counsel or yourself if you're representing yourself, which I highly advised against. So please make sure that you're not just talking about these grounds. You have also to show that you didn't have any state protection in your country. What does that mean? It means that either you are unwilling or unable to get protection of state. And when I say state, I mean things like people in authority, like police. Are you able to approach the police to report your issue? Some people have done that. Did you report? Did you not report? Some people don't report because at times the police are the same machinery that are used to prosecute them. Okay. In other cases, you may have gone to the police, but then the police don't do anything because either they are powerless or they have been bought by the people who are persecuting you. Okay, you have to show that you don't have state protection. Okay, the other one you have to show is that you do not have something called an internal flight alternative. Okay, an internal flight alternative means that you do not have a safe and reasonable place whereby you can move into either in your country or a different country where you can go and seek protection. So did you move out of your location? Did you move out of your city? Why, are you able to establish yourself in the places whereby you moved reasonably? Okay. The other thing you have to show is the burden of proof. The burden of proof lies with you as the claimant. It's up to you who has to come and give something that is clear and convincing. Okay? You have to give a clear and convincing story, and not just story. You you have to have not all the time, but it's important when you have documentary evidence or testimonials or people who can even testify on your behalf. Okay. And then, do you have other countries that can actually offer you protection? Because there's some people who may be able to get protection from other countries. Maybe you have dual nationality. Is your other country able to offer you that? So you may not be having another country that would be able to offer you protection. Okay. All right, guys. Now you understand. I hope I've given some clarity, because as I said, people are saying that they are going to claim asylum for all the wrong reasons, and when you don't know what it is you're doing, majority of these people end up being refused because they're seeking asylum for the wrong reasons. Okay. And now the problem is, when you get refused and then you exhaust all the appeal systems here, you're going to get deported. Okay. And if for real your life was in danger, but you didn't understand how that applies to you, then your life could still be in danger if you're deported. So make sure that you understand what it is you're doing. There's a lot at stake with refugee claims. And yeah, so if you need any legal advice, any help, even representation, I do refugee representations, please book an asylum consultation on my website, and the details are going to be at the description part of this video. Guys, it's nice to see you again, and I will see you in my next video.